Thanks to the supporters of channel member Russ Eddy. Here we go then, boys and girls. Every video for the remainder of this series, we will either win or lose a trophy. Hopefully we'll be winning the trophies. Hello and welcome to part 28 of Rebuilding Barcelona. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, two things, hopefully. Thing number one, we should win La Liga. I'd like to do that in the first match, because if we can win it in the first match, the second thing we're going to do today is show you the reserves in action again, so you can see some of these exciting young players and get a little bit of a taste of what might be to come. Use words, Kev, when I do the 5 years in the future video in a couple of days' time. So we win La Liga today, cross everything. We win the Champions League tomorrow, cross everything. And then we'll see if it managed to maintain it and the club didn't go back into debt. Talking of the debt, as we near the end, you can see that the net debt is now down to £28 million, of which 42 million is still outstanding payments on these loans. Now, one of these loans will remain in place. This £18.5 million here that was originally 30 million, that one was actually taken out during this 4-year period. We're actually considered rich now, so I mean, even on that basis, this job is done. But that's still got 6 years to pay. There's not a lot we can do about that other than making sure we've got at least that amount of money in our bank balance to cover it come the end. We've also got £40 million of transfer debt, but these £23 million of loans will be paid off on the 1st of July when we officially check to see if job is done. But obviously that money is paid off out of our balance. So I don't really see how the maths adds up at the moment, because for the way I see it, we've got, let's say, a £56 million balance, 40 million coming off that in transfer debt leaves 16 million. And then we've got another 42 million pounds worth of debt there. That does come, the maths does work. Who'd have thought? We need to pay off our final 28 million pounds. It'll be fine. But first, let's win La Liga, shall we? This is the situation. We've got 3 games to go. We're 3 points clear of Real Madrid, and with a game in hand on them, and a much better goal difference and better head-to-head. So if we win this game against Levante, we go 6 points clear of them, and they can't catch us. I'm pretty sure we win the league with this one match, even though they'll be 6 points behind with 3 games to go. I think the head-to-head will be enough for us to be crowned champions in this match. So if we win this match, I'll then show you Atletico Madrid as the second match, and that'll be the youngsters. Otherwise, I'll show you the Real Betis match, and we'll have to win the league there. But let's go win the league against Levante. This is a team that we're going to be sending out there. We've got ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Baldi, Papetti, De Ligt, and Dest. So you can see we're a little rotated, and we've got a few players who are injured, a few more being rested. You can see Bellingham is currently having a rest from training to make sure he's ready for the Champions League final. He's had a long, hard season. So the midfield is Rice, Van Haren, and De Jong, and then Depay and Andrezinho behind Moukoko up front. It certainly still should be a team that's more than strong enough to beat a team like Levante. So we should at least do that part of the bargain, and then it just comes down to whether, after 4 years of managing in Spain, do I actually understand the basis that the league title is awarded on? Because I'm pretty sure it's head-to-head, in which case a win here does award us the league. If it is goal difference, which I'm pretty sure it's not, although in reality we're not going to get caught when we're 25, 30 goals ahead of Real Madrid, we wouldn't actually be mathematically certain after this game, so we might not be awarded it immediately. The hope is Real Madrid then play before we play our next game so we can win it that way, and it'll be fine. It will be fine. But first, of course, job number one is win this match, because this brings us back level on games played with everybody else in the league. If we can do that with a 6-point lead, we're all but there. It's as good as there at that point. Baldi with the throw finds Rice, who plays it all the way back to Papetti, who I am expecting Papetti to feature heavily in the 5 years in the future video that we do in a couple of days' time, because he's one of those players we brought in for the future, like Moukoko, like Nonto, like Andrezinho. You know, Van Haren, we've got all these young players who are just going to be superstars for the club, as long as the club doesn't do one of two stupid things. Stupid thing number one is sell this team off. We've built together what I would class as one of the best squads I've had on FM22, FM21. We'll find out for sure, he says, as he's conceding the first goal. Don't worry, it's merely a blip. We'll find out how this team compares against my other FM21 teams next week, because next week is going to be the long-awaited LOLLUJO Cup, where I pit all of the teams that I've had both here and over on Twitch throughout FM21 against each other in a knockout format and see which one is the best team. So that's going to be my all-conquering Sheffield United team off of Twitch, the home team that we had here on YouTube, the Leicester team from the beta. We've got the Arsenal team from Non-League to Legend, the Kettering team from Non-League to Legend, the Peterborough team from Non-League to Legend. We have got a lot of teams to throw into a tournament together with this Barcelona team to work out which is my best squad, my best team of FM21. And I think this Barcelona side is going to take some beating. We're about to go 2-0 down. As I'm talking them up massively, we're about to go 2-0 down against Levante and mess up what should be a title celebration today. We need a big save from ter Stegen here, and then a big performance from the other 10 players to get us back into this game pronto. Penalty is not saved. We find ourselves 2-0 down, and I think that's as good an opportunity as any to demand more, because this is not part of the script for today's episode. Imagine if after all this, we ended up bottling the league. Grimaldo is going to come on for Baldi. Baldi's picked up a knock, according to the assistant manager. Getting Grimaldo on always makes sense anyway, because of that set-piece delivery. That's going to be always helpful as a route back into the game. But this shows what a different team we are without Bellingham. I'm blaming it all on that. Come on, boys. We've got 45 minutes to get ourselves up and running again, get ourselves back into this match. I might even berate. I am going to berate. I think that's the first time I've berated in this series. They probably didn't like that very much, but sometimes you've just got to berate them. We're playing terribly. I might go 2 up top here. We've got Nanto on the bench. Mokoko's not playing very well, but I think I leave him on, and we're going to sacrifice. We're going to sacrifice De Jong. We're going to sacrifice De Jong, just really in the interest of saving him more than anything. And then we'll do him as... who's going to be the deeper of the two? Might make him a complete forward on attack. Yeah, we'll do this. And then we'll move him up in there. Yeah, that works for me. We'll do this. And then we're also going to bring on Demir as the final change, because I think Demir probably at this point is a better bet than Andrezinho on that right-hand side. Even though we spent all that money on Andrezinho in January, I think Demir probably is the guy who should be starting on the right-hand side when everybody is fit, as things are currently. Mokoko is having an absolute nightmare of a game, and we have somehow managed to lose against Levante. This was all supposed to be a formality. I think when I was presenting my which matches we might be showing in this episode, I don't think I even had a scenario for if we lose. But lose we have. Obviously, we're going to have to show the Real Betis game now. We might end up having to do all 3 matches in this episode if we don't wrap up the title against Betis. This is absolutely not part of today's script. So, a couple of changes for the Real Betis game. Grimaldo and Dest coming in at fullback. Sula's back in alongside De Ligt at centre-back. De Jong drops back to play behind Rice, and Pedri returns to the side, and Demir is going to be starting on the right-hand side. I continue to keep faith with Mokoko, even though he continues to be trash. 6.76 in his last 5 games. The only thing keeping him in the team is Nanto. He's on a 6.68 in his last 5. Both of our Wonder Kid strikers have decided to stop scoring goals at exactly the worst time of the season for them to decide to stop scoring goals. This is hopefully not going to be a problem. Fingers crossed one or both of them play themselves into form over the last couple of league games, so they're ready for that Champions League final. Going into a Champions League final with a striker who hasn't scored for ages is not my idea of a good time. As ever as well with the recent episodes, there are going to be the odd jump cut like that one where I have a little cough or a coughing fit that needs editing out. Apologies, there's not much I can do about that at the moment other than just not record while I've got this cough. My favourite comment that I got the other day was from somebody saying that, are the jump cuts because you've got a cough or are they because you're reloading the game? If there was a way to reload the game mid-match, I think we'd have all found it by now. What a silly goose. But yeah, that one tickled me a little bit. And What the hell is going on? Are we bottling this? Are we distracted by the Champions League final? Until this episode, we'd only lost one game all season. We are now 1-0 down at home against Real Betis. I haven't even looked what Real Madrid are up to today because I just assumed it wouldn't matter and that we would just win our games. We might actually have to, perhaps I've got some of this Barcelona arrogance. Perhaps I need to just have a little look. Pedri's saying, no, boss, you don't need to look. You're all good. Don't worry. Never fear. Pedri's here. And it's 1-1. It's an immediate reply. And that is exactly what we needed. If we're not going to be getting goals out of our strikers, and with Bellingham currently unavailable for selection, although he will be back for the Champions League final, goals are a little hard to come by. But if Pedri can start grabbing some from the Bellingham role, that works for me. It looks like Real Madrid not playing right now. I don't know if they've already played or what the situation is. We could probably try and figure that out at some point when we get a gap between highlights. It falls to Demir, who getting another opportunity to... I mean, he's got an opportunity to earn his Champions League final spot here. He's going to be competing with Pedri. He's going to be competing with Andrezinho as a potential starter on that right-hand side. So Pedri's already grabbed himself a goal today and is playing well. Demir needs to show me that he deserves that Champions League starting spot. Memphis Depay with the shot from range, and it's a very tame one straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Right, we're just pausing for a second. Real Madrid not played yet. That's what we know from that. They're not playing now. They're not playing. Oh, they are playing later today. They're playing Cadiz at 8 p.m. I don't even know what time this kickoff is. The afternoon kickoff, presumably. So they're playing them later on today. They are presumably towards the bottom half of the table. I didn't notice them around and about at the top, and that's at home. So you would expect a Real Madrid win there. Even if we lose this game and Real Madrid win, I think our head-to-head keeps us ahead of them for now. And then we'd go into the last day of the season and we just had to at least equal their result on the last day. But we don't want to be messing around with any of that, especially because we're playing Atletico on the last day of the season as well. It's like, oh, we only have to equal Real Madrid's result. Yeah, we've got our second hardest game of the season coming up on the last day. We really want things wrapped up before then, especially when I was hoping to be able to rest some players and try some of the youngsters before that Champions League final. De Jong playing it into Pedri. Demir is in here. Demir with the shot on his weaker right foot, and it's blocked by the goalkeeper. It's behind for a corner, and hopefully we get the Grimaldo effect from the in-swinging corner. He finds De Ligt, but he can't direct his header goalwards, and now Betis have got a chance for a counter-attack. It's Bellerin charging down this right-hand side. Dest has come storming across, clattered him, and thankfully only picked up a yellow card, but Dest doing some good covering work there, really. Especially when he only managed to get himself a yellow card. Have they got Rob Holding and Hector Bellerin at the back? I mean, that's some top-tier defence right there. Right, Moukoko is injured. We're going to bring Nonto on for him. Might end up being a blessing in disguise. If Nonto comes on and scores, I think that's kind of making my mind up for me who my starting striker is going to be in the Champions League final. It's been Moukoko since he arrived. But of course, Nonto was doing it first half of the season and has still scored more goals than Moukoko this year. So maybe Nonto is the man who we should be going with. Maybe Pastkev was right all along last summer when I chose to sign Nonto ahead of Moukoko and then decided to get Moukoko as well in January. Maybe I was right. Maybe Nonto is the best bet for now. Because remember, Nonto was one of the top scorers in the Champions League last year. If we're struggling for goals, he's not a bad man to be able to bring off the bench. Memphis Depay scored here, by the way, in amongst all the kerfuffle. It was Declan Rice who's just sort of floated it into the penalty area. I don't think it's a shot, but it was a weird cross. But that Memphis gets just enough on it to loop it up over the goalkeeper into that top corner. We find ourselves now 2-1 up. And this, like I was saying before, based on the Kev maths that I've been applying to this situation, I think this is enough to win us the league. Nonto now shoots from range, and that's exactly the kind of shooting that I've come to expect from both of my strikers in recent weeks. I don't know what's wrong with them. One of them has just got to start scoring. Sula's now getting beaten for headers. What on earth is happening? We're living in a fantasy world now where someone's able to out-jump and out-muscle Sula at our corners when we've known ever since he signed that he was just an enormous monster who always comes out on top at set pieces. We've asked to guard against complacency for this second half. We are in the lead. Betis are a good side. They're hovering just outside potential European qualification spots, so they'll be looking to try and get something out of this game if they can. But obviously, we want to win the league. We don't really care what they want. Not only that, we want to win the league at our own ground as well. I think we're away from home against Atletico on the last day. We'd quite like my fourth and final La Liga title to be presented here rather than at their ground. Demir does well to get past his man here, and now he's cut inside. And Demir with a shooting opportunity, and it is pushed wide for yet another corner. It's going to be on the left-hand side, so it's not going to be a Grimaldo in-swinger. Memphis taking corner responsibilities on this side, and this time Sula does get to the header before anybody else, but it ends up going a little bit too wide of that post. I say a little bit too wide. Any kind of wide is too wide. Don't make it wide of the post. That's the simple thing to do. Demir playing it back to De Jong. And now Dest. Everyone's name begins with DE, apparently. Demir now looking to run forward again. Nonto's kind of got in his way a little bit. Not only is he blocking Demir's run, but wasn't really making himself available to receive the ball. Luckily, though, Memphis was on the same wavelength as Demir, and he does make a run that can just have the ball slotted in front of very nicely. This is a lovely piece of football from Demir again. Beats one man, cuts infield, beats a couple more, and then plays a perfectly placed pass into the path of Memphis. It is 3-1 to Barcelona. That should be it, boys and girls. That should be we are the champions, etc., etc. Sula's in now, and if he's managed to stay onside, he's made it number 4. I think the referee is calling the play back, though, and we probably are going to have this one disallowed. It's going to VAR. We were talking yesterday. Am I finally going to see a VAR not overturn the goal? Not today. They're saving it for the last minute of the Champions League final when it will really, really hurt. But I'm so conditioned to just, it's the VAR. That means it's disallowed. You watch. It will happen in the Champions League final and it will ruin me. A Grimaldo corner that didn't lead to a goal is a little suspect. He's gone all the way over this side to take the throw, and it ends up back with De Jong. Rice now playing it back to De Jong again, who's got all the time he needs to find the right pass. It's Nonto who ends up with the ball. Demir trying to slot it into the path of Memphis again, but this time the defenders are a little bit wise to it, and Delict playing it forward to De Jong again, who finds Rice. Again, we certainly have a route to goal that we're pursuing here. Grimaldo into Memphis. Memphis couldn't get the shot away there, and really, he probably shouldn't have been trying to. Dest wins the ball back. I mean, he's got a competition for places thing going on of his own as well, trying to secure himself a spot starting at right back, which is probably a little bit hopeful, because Porro is likely to be available again by then. So chances are Porro is going to be the starter on the right-hand side. But if Dest plays really, really, really well, you never know. Talking of Champions League final selections, Demir has come in, played well, but now had to go off with a slight knock. So that, again, it all has implications. Nico is going to come on for Declan Rice in midfield. And that is the end of our substitutions for today. And now we just need to hold on to this 2-goal lead. Memphis was sold a little short by Declan Rice there. In fact, it couldn't have been Rice. Who's the number 16? Pedri. Oh no, Rice is still on the pitch. Did I not just take him off? He's not showing as being on the pitch at the bottom. I think this is like my Year 6 House Football Cup final shenanigans all over again. You probably don't remember them, but when I was 11 years old, I was captain of my house at football in primary school, and in the final, I told the younger kids that they could come on in the second half, and then didn't bring them on, but they came on anyway. I didn't notice. The ref didn't notice. It was only at the end of the match when we realised we had 14 players on the pitch and didn't tell anyone as we were celebrating that I realised what I'd done. Declan Rice was paying attention, and he's now applying that as well. Nobody ever counts the players, folks. If you can sneak onto the pitch and stay on there when you're substituted, do it. Get away with it. No one's counting the players. Have you ever seen anybody count the footballers? Nobody does. It's the way forward. Pedri has been brought down there, I think, but not a penalty, apparently. And now Grimaldo, lovely work from him, finds Pedri, who cannons it into the crossbar. And Pedri has certainly done enough today to secure himself a starting spot for the Champions League final. It's just going to be whether that's going to be in midfield or on the right-hand side. And I think I'm probably leaning towards that right-hand side, because it's very unlikely I'm going to drop one of Bellingham, Rice, or De Jong for a Champions League final. So Pedri's probably going to have to play out wide, despite the fact he is an absolute force to be reckoned with from central midfield, as he's shown today. But I don't want to mess with the winning formula. That can be for whoever takes over after I leave. Which, I mean, Ronald Koeman's still here as assistant manager. He might be the next Barcelona manager. Can you imagine that? I go away, solve the problem, leave him, and Ronald Koeman takes over, and all the Barcelona fans are delighted. That's all they ever wanted. Ronald Koeman to be their manager. Right, we haven't won the league yet. Maybe my maths was wrong. Let's look at the table. Maybe Real Madrid will lose later on today or draw, and then we can win it that way. I just want to see some confirmation that we've won the league, please. I think we have. But I guess I'll defer to the super clever computer machine. Real Madrid winning 5-0. I think we've won the league. What are the rules? If they're tied on points, I'm sure it goes head-to-head. Results between teams on the league sorting rules. We have got a better head-to-head than them, haven't we? Or have I not been paying proper attention? Right. Oh, we might not have, you know. We drew 1-1 at home with them. And 2-2 away. We are actually level on head-to-head. I just assumed we were ahead of them. So it would then go to goal difference. Where, I mean, we have all but won it. But we are going to have to play the final day. Right, I am putting full faith in this team not leading to like a 30-goal swing or whatever the goal difference situation is. We're putting the youngsters out anyway because the Champions League final is in less than a week. We don't want to risk anyone who doesn't need risking. Plus, we want to give some of the fringe players the opportunity to nail down some of those last few spots that are potentially open to question. Pedri did very good work in the last match, so Pedri's got a very good chance of being in. But Andrezinho, Gavi, Van Haren, Reyes are all getting an opportunity, as is Demir. Grimaldo. Why am I playing Grimaldo rather than Baldi? This seems like a bad idea. We'll just swap those two over. Porro should be back in time. Yeah, Porro's just still being rested at the moment. I do want to bring Bellingham on probably for the whole of the second half. Gavi can only play the first half, but Bellingham has missed the last couple of weeks while he's been on holiday. So not on holiday, he's just been rested from training as Porro is now. But Bellingham will come back on for the second half just to make sure he's got some match fitness, and both Makoko and Nonto will probably come on as well. So they're likely to be my three changes, but I'll probably just read the team to you before I go too far ahead. So Linda is going to be starting in goal. Linda is going to be our starting goalkeeper when we do the 5 years in the future. I'm certain of it. He looks like a superstar. So Linda starting in goal, then Baldi, Matip, Pepetti and Dest as the back four, Nico behind Van Haren and Gavi in midfield, and then Reyes and Andrezinho out wide, Yusuf Demir up front. Let's submit that team. We've even got Verratti on the bench, who I think has only been a cup player for us this season, but he's going to get an opportunity on the final day of the season to at least be part of the matchday squad that should be winning us the league. Real Madrid are away against Malaga. They're going to win that game. It won't matter. I am pretty sure. I am going to be pretty embarrassed if Real Madrid go ahead, we go behind, and suddenly the league table changes and I've somehow misunderstood stuff. Maybe there's away goals that count in the head-to-head or some ridiculous thing like that, and we have to somehow win this match with this team. But let's not worry about that. Hey, as long as we don't lose the match, we do it on points, and we don't even need to worry about any of that other stuff. And as it stands at the moment, it looks like Atletico have come here with a flat-back 9, Dele Alli up front, so effectively playing strikerless and just trying to defend. It's inexplicable why they're doing that. They've already got their Champions League spot secured. They can only finish third. I don't really understand the logic behind them playing quite so negatively in a match at home where they have nothing to lose, unless they just don't want to hand the title to Real Madrid. Maybe they're just like, well, Barcelona are playing the reserves. Real Madrid are losing. Nobody wants to win the league today, it seems. Andrezinho needs to come off. I was supposed to bring Bellingham on for Gavi. I forgot about that. Right, Andrezinho has just played himself out of a Champions League final spot. He's been really poor. And we're going to bring Nonto on the left-hand side as well. And we're going to go with that as the front three for the remainder of the match. Drop a little bit of encouragement. I would like to see a goal from one of the strikers, Makoko, Nonto, or even Bellingham getting himself back into the goals after missing a couple of matches, because I am a little alarmed at the form that we're taking into this Champions League final. especially if we lose this match full of Premier League rejects. Goodness me, if they got anybody who's not a Premier League fringe player, goodness me. Right, Matip heading the ball clear. So, talking of Premier League rejects, I've got a 33-year-old Joel Matip at centre-back for me today. Wow, Twanzebe as well. And Dele Alli, and they've got them all. You name it. Oh, and they've got Griezmann, who they're probably still paying an absolute fortune to. That's probably why they can't afford any other top-tier players, because they've been financially ruined by having to pay Griezmann £500,000 a week throughout these 4 years. We ruined them. I'm not proud of myself. That deal was already in place at the start of the save. Nonto is in here. A goal would be important for many, many reasons, and he grabs a goal. I think we've got our starting striker for the Champions League final, folks. Wilfried Nonto has just scored a goal in the 87th minute to just confirm everything. It's route one, as it's not full-on route one, because Bellingham, he's not flicked it on, he's just taken the ball and hit it over the top to Nonto. But it's pretty direct football and a beautiful finish from Nonto. And I think the form that Mokoko's been in, I think we have to start Nonto in the Champions League final. He's just earned his spot with a lovely finish there, coming in off the left-hand side. Linda's going to keep himself a nice little clean sheet. He's been very good again. And this team, this 5 years in the future, is going to be very exciting. Mokoko's going to score as well, isn't he? Then I'm going to have no idea what to do. Mokoko plays it straight into the hands of our black in goal for Atletico. And with a minute to go, I think we're champions for the 4th year in a row. The stadium looks half empty, by the way. Looking at some of those seats over there, there's a lot of gaps. The Atletico fans clearly not feeling it today. There's no good outcome for them today. Either they lose to us or Real Madrid win the league. Either way, they were always going to be in for a pretty unpleasant afternoon. And I think the attendance has shown that they are not fancying it. Real Madrid have got a goal back against Malaga. It's Malaga 2, Real Madrid 1. So they're just confirming things for us as well. And that should be a final whistle and a trophy celebration. Referee, if you could arrange that for me, that would be super. This has been a long episode. Our first 3 live episode of the entire series. First and only, because obviously the last match of the series is going to be in tomorrow's episode, which is going to be the Champions League final, which will be a YouTube premiere, as my Champions League finals always are. So if you want to experience it live as it's happening with me hovering around in the chat as well, make sure you're there at 4 o'clock on the dot for the YouTube premiere. It'll be available to watch as a normal video immediately afterwards as well. So don't worry if you can't be there dead on 4 o'clock, and you will be able to watch it as normal. But there we have it. We are the champions 4 in a row for Barcelona. We're just going to get a Linda cartwheel, and it's going to be beautiful. Come on, give us a cartwheel. Here he goes. Fantastic stuff. And let's just give everyone a good old pat on the head. And now no time for celebrations. The Champions League final is in 6 days. We've got work to do. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.